that is the tape deck you're talking about. Hey?
That is the tape deck. That is a Revox A77 from 1973.
There's a lot of interesting things in the studio.
Yep, that's by design.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school.
Yeah.
So I've added a double cassette deck. There's 2 radios.
Yeah.
And a DVD player and stuff in that mix as well. And all of it is wired up to the mixer so that it can be
so
recorded.
you actually use it to create.
So yeah. So I often run my my radio show from there, and I will use various different pieces of that.
Yeah.
So I like playing legacy media.
Yeah.
Hence that thing.
No, that's really cool.
So I'll play records and I'll play something off a CD.
Yeah.
Into a mix.
Yeah.
Just because I can. There's hundreds of vinyls down there.
And I see these little keyboards. I don't know. Are they?
Oh yeah.
kids or
So
those
there are kiddies keyboards, and here's the thing: is I saw a YouTube video once where a guy was, I'm going to make a song using this little toy kitty cat keyboard.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to sample this thing, and I'm going to see what I can get out of it. And he actually took sounds off of that thing, and he made a song with it on Fruity Loops. And I thought, I need to do that. And since we had a couple of them lying around, I said,
you brought
okay.
them into the studio.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Have you gotten around to doing that?
I haven't gotten around to doing it. It's on my list of projects to do, along with about 75 others. But yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get around to it.
Up here, we've got a set of accordions.
Accordions, yeah.
Mostly, likely older than me. I know the one that's sitting looks like a suitcase.
Yeah.
That's a 1935 harmonium, which is it's essentially like an electric accordion.
I see.
And we got that at a garage sale. Somebody was just turfing it out.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll take that.
And that's sitting there.
Yeah, so those planning to do some interesting things with those.
Yeah.
There are djembes and didgeridoos lying around.
Yeah, I saw some djembes over there.
Yeah. And those will go into those have been recorded into a song.
Okay, you have used them.
Used those. Nearly used the didge. The didge didn't quite make it into that song, but I have a couple of other ideas.
For the didgeridoo.
Yeah, the didgeridoo. Haven't quite got the circular breathing thing going yet.
Yeah, so it's
quite a challenge. It is quite a challenge. You have to sort of breathe in and blow out at the same time
to keep that going.
And it's a similar technique to what's used by clarinet players. Kenny G uses the same thing.
Yeah.
Other wind instruments also use it.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep the drone going, and then you add your other bits. So I haven't quite got that done, but there's always looping techniques to fix that problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what this is all about. It's about collecting unusual instruments and then putting them into the music.
Yeah, and you've got like a section there that's like it's like your library space.
Oh yeah. Finally, the library has a home.
Yeah. Are those? Is it all books? Are those cassettes?
Actually,
VHS?
those TDKs are reels for the Revox.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Those are the reels for the Revox. Okay.
But those drawers along the bottom are all filled with cassettes.
Wow.
Yeah. I still have the very, very first cassette that I got in the late 80s when I got my very first tape player. Springbok 56, if I'm not mistaken. There was a collection called Springbok.
Yeah.
And they were of the Top Hit Parade, made by David Gresham.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a lot of those in there.
Yeah.
My very first blank cassette that I got is also in there with the original music on it that was recorded.
Yeah.
Because back in those days, making a mixtape, that's where the term comes from.
Yeah, mixtape. Yeah.
A mixtape was you were listening to the top countdown.
Yeah. and you
were
would
trying
record.
to press record
Yeah.
in amongst where the DJ was talking.
Yes, yeah.
And you were hoping he
So
was going to shut
when
up
he
before
stops
you
talking,
got to.
when he stops talking, you stop the tape. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was hopefully he wouldn't talk over too much of the song.
Yeah. I remember being in grade 10.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a school in Zambia, deep in the bush. Very, very disconnected school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my parents took us there. I don't know why. So we'd literally get on a plane,
Yeah,
fly all the way to Zambia to a place called Ndola on the Copper Belt,
yeah.
and then a car from Avis would come pick us up,
Mm-hmm.
take us down into the bush, and leave us there in this school. And it just didn't make sense to me. I was on a plane like an hour ago. I'm in this place. Okay, so we're there, and my brother and I and two other guys came together and formed a quartet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we used to record ourselves on one of those
The cassette.
players. So we'd put in we didn't have any blanks, so we'd just sacrifice one of our cassettes and just record over it. Record ourselves singing over it. It used to be fun. I remember we were recording once, and then something happened, and the tape slowed down. So it sort of the pitch. Yeah, it changed the pitch of the song and the tempo, and we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And what's the deal with the Christmas tree not going down? What's going on there?
Fortunately, the date is
and
not
the
at the
Christmas
bottom.
gnomes are at the bottom.
The date is not at the bottom of the podcast, but
Yeah,
yes, the Christmas tree seems to have become
a part of just a permanent
of
feature.
the studio.
Yeah. I guess it goes with the walls. I don't know.
It does fortunately match the wall.
Yeah.
I'm kind of reluctant to pull it down, actually,
Yeah.
to be honest. I haven't really made the effort to take it down, and I think that's because I like it there. It's a part of the studio.
Yeah. We've got 11 months still to go, but okay.
Yeah. And that's what the studio is all about. It's about creating a space where any kind of creativity can come to the fore and be recorded.
Yeah.
And that is, it has happened. That is what's here.
I'm really looking forward to buying a place and setting up, a studio, something similar to this, in my garage or something like that. Because we're actually in your garage.
We're in half of the garage.
Which is half, the one half of the garage. And it's quite big, and it's an inspiring space. Yeah, being in here from the door. Let's actually talk about this door.
The door. So the door
the most interesting door I've ever seen, actually.
The door is 10 centimeters thick, has 16 bolts in it, and a double locking key. Actually opens in two parts.
Yeah.
The little part on the
One
side.
side on the front.
Specifically because bringing equipment in here is what the door is designed for. And keeping the equipment in here is what the door is designed for.
Yeah.
This didn't start like this.
Mm-hmm.
This started in a room 3 meters by 3 meters and grew from there.
Yeah.
So everything that's in here was in there.
Okay.
And or in boxes for a long time. And so the vision for the studio came from everything on top of everything else in a tiny little room. But it didn't stop the music from happening.
Yeah.
The music has always happened wherever I was. And one of the things which this studio was created for was to create the music where you're at. And so one of the things I was thinking about before the studio was built was don't wait for the right space to create the music. Create the right music for where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of people are battling with this sort of thing. Home studios were unheard of not so long ago.
Yeah.
You had to go find something like the SABC if you wanted to record anything and pay thousands and thousands of rands for it.
For time in there.
Home studios are springing up all over the place because of the technology has made it accessible.
Yeah.
And it's made it possible. I stream onto internet radio from here. That was unheard of before. And I've always said it's a fabulous time to be alive because this sort of thing is now possible.
Yeah.
And so the inspiration is find the space that you're in and create the music at that point in time, and then grow into the spaces as you develop.
Yeah.
You know, the space will come and you'll grow into it.
Yeah.
This has been a vision for since the 80s and 90s when I was playing with cassette players.
Yeah.
I saw this, but yeah, in those days, you would never be able to have something like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, the possibility for this now is endless. You know, from turning your kitchen into your podcast studio
Yeah.
to having an actual studio.
An actual studio. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a happy creative space, and I invite any and everyone I meet into this
Into the
space,
space.
to tap into
Tap
the
into
creativity.
the creativity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just that's a very awesome segue into what I wanted to ask about next. There's a section in this studio
Yes.
that sort of tells me you have a double life.
I do indeed.
That section in that corner.
Yeah, the mission control in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, at a quick glance, you'd think, oh, yeah, there's like more studio
Yeah.
stuff going on there. But no,
Not quite,
those 4 screens and how they're placed. Yeah. Tell me about that. Tell me
So,
about what's going on there.
by day, I'm a software developer, and by night, I'm a musician and producer.
Yeah.
That little corner pays for the rest of the studio.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Software development pays the bills, and the rest of the studio is there for playing.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why I will freely invite people into the studio and say, here, use the studio.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
Yeah.
Some of the time I work in the studio and I charge for it, but a lot of the time I'm opening the door to somebody who doesn't have the opportunity, because that little corner pays for it.
Yeah.
My day job as a software developer pays for all of this and put all of this together. Music, unfortunately, in this country and in a lot of environments, doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with a lot of broke musicians.
Yeah.
Very
Very talented musicians. I might
very
add.
very
Yeah.
talented people, but battling to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And so I knew that this would only ever be a place of fun and creativity,
Yeah.
but it's not designed to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
If it does, lucky me.
Yeah.
But I have a fallback. I have other things in place.
Yeah.
And so the pressure is not on the studio to do that. And that is why I can open the door to someone who says, I really want to experience what a studio is like, or I really want to record some ideas, but I don't have the resources to do it.
Yeah.
I go, I've got a studio, come on in, we'll go nuts, because I enjoy the process.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
process of just recording and being creative and seeing somebody's idea come to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll say, come on in, we'll do stuff together, and off you go. And if you get a record out of it,
Then that's
fabulous.
great. Yeah.
But the hope is always that someone comes in here and they do something fabulous, and they go out and maybe they become something, or they do something, or it changes their lives in some way, that they take that and they say, since that day, I got the inspiration and I went out and I did something with it.
Yeah.
That's what this is for.
Yeah.